it on this computer. Perfect. Okay. All right, so let me go full screen here. Okay, so it's called cover 2, so that might be tough for you guys because everybody in America calls cover 2 hard corners and apex safeties. You know, in the Virginia Tech world, cover 2 is robber coverage. But obviously, it doesn't matter on that front what you call it. But from a structure standpoint, you'll see it here in a second. You know, it puts outside leverage with the overhangs. You know, so while quarters coverage puts the overhang apex, so it does kind of remove the field. This one truly reduces the field, and you know, everything's going to be funneled back in. So if you think about like those bubble RPOs and things like that, this is something that's a killer to it because of the outside leverage nature of it. True split field, and what I mean by that is that when you get into 3x1 and empty, you truly have 2 separate teams. So you have a 3x1 team and then a single receiver team, or the 2 receiver team and empty. So those 2 guys can really work independently of each other. So there's a lot of power in this coverage. Okay, so let me go just kind of talk through the 2x2 part of it. Let's see how to. There we go. Yeah, we got visitors.
Yeah. Mom's home.
Oh,
Let's go.
Mom's home.
Oh, save the day.
Come on now. Oh, he's killing me. Okay, so you have the whip. This is the passing strength. It is sort of the same thing to the other side. If you have 2 removed, it would just be the backer. But I'll show you the adjustment to the pro side with the tight end, and it's killer because it gets you the extra guy in the box. But so the whip plays outside leverage, and his responsibility, so he's the flat defender, but unless we tag this with punch, he's just going to kind of like jump drop off it or razor drop, which is just kind of like shuffle from the outside because he can see everything. I can't see number 1, but remember the call that we had from the corner in quarters coverage, which is China and under. Those are the same words that the corner is going to use for what number 1 did. So if 1 hitches up, he's going to hear China, 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 and do the same thing, go punch. And if 1 drives inside, it's going to be the same deal. Under, under, under. So he knows he just drives right now. So he's got the flat, but it's going to be what we say is quarterback eyes, a route, or a China call will drag you to the flat. So, you know, you don't want those guys like opening up and running to the sideline and going to cover grass. That is built in. Like I said, if you tag it with punch, that will get those guys because there is a lot of value in that if you know it's a pass or, you know, I really like that like on 3rd and max, you know, punching that guy out because I think that can be killer. But most important, this guy's going to own double move. So if he gets, you know, the wheel or the rail route, you know, he's got to run with it. All right. So like really what you're getting, I'm going to draw him just kind of like spot dropping here. But the free safety is going to be robbing 2 to 1. The whip is your flat player, and then the field corner is the apex guy. And so we'll do some route fitting just like we did last time on Go Army. So I'll show you how that whole thing's going to kind of fit together. But going into the safety, so this guy's got to be a run fitter. So the whip here is a force player. The free safety is going to be that B-C gap fitter that the whip was in quarters coverage. All right, now obviously you have to be good with setting your front on this one, in my opinion. Because remember we had, you know, the whip's apex in quarters. He's sitting like right here where the mouse is. You know, so he can get into that B gap. He's got that black call that he can use. And you still have the same thing. But obviously this guy's coming from a little bit deeper depth. There's a little bit more space. So I always like to set a field call or making sure that you're getting this set to the passing strength. You know, so you're protecting this free safety. So now he's the extra player. You know, because if he's B, C gap, those 2 guys, there isn't a B or C gap, but we have those 2 things occupied. So he becomes the extra player. So if you set this, if you set this way, and you had set this front as a left, you know, now the free safety is a B gap fitter. from a run standpoint. So just be cognizant with where you've set the front. It matters a little bit more in robber coverage than it does in quarters coverage. If both these guys go vertical, the field corner is going to apex these things. So he's going to be in between them, midpoint it. But the free safety's rule is to trail underneath. But he's going to be underneath this thing. So the field corner really is going to be that over-the-top apex guy over both of these guys. Ultimately what you would end up getting is a trail under him and a trail under him with both of these guys, with the field corner being able to midpoint between both of them. All right, because the whip doesn't have any work. Obviously, if 3 shows up and those things, he's gonna pop in there. The Mike in this, because of the location of the free safety, he is a short hole guy. So those routes that we talk about, like those drives and things like that, the outside leverage nature of the whip, kind of opens this up that, we can cut those mesh routes loose. So we need a short hole killer that's just going to annihilate anything that comes in there. All right. So obviously he can get a little bit of depth based on what's showing, but he has to make sure he protects the short hole, the Mike right there. Okay. So what I really like on this one, obviously like this picture may not be great, but I like using smoke and mirrors to kind of bluff this guy. So think about the 2 coverages that we've talked about so far. We have 9 and 2, where the whip is inside on 9 and he's outside on 2. Our huddle call that we will make is we'll say, like field G 22 bluff 9. And what that's saying is 9 up, line up like 9. And then whenever it's comfortable, it could be at the snap, it could be, before the snap, kind of roll out of there. But before the snap, put yourself in, or whenever it's comfortable, put yourself in a position to line up as 2. So you're not giving because these are our 2 all down coverages in the zone sense, we don't want to tip our hand and say, hey, they're inside leverage, they're running quarters. They're outside leverage, they're running, they're running robber. So you don't want to tip your hand in that way. So we spent a lot of time practicing bluffing and things like that. And in my experience, Jason, I think I told you this when we talked a couple weeks ago, telling the kids to, hey, make sure you shake it up. They never do. They always forget, or they're just bad at it. It just looks lame. So they're not selling it right. So that's why we call what we want them to bluff.
Yeah, so we changed. We this year we implemented a new strategy on how we break apart the field, and we're doing kind of a variation of how Dub Maddox runs. Are you familiar with Dub Maddox at all?
Yeah.
Are you familiar how he runs the Halo concept?
Yep.
So we're running kind of a variation of that on as far as how we separate the field and how we identify certain areas of the field. And that was actually one of the topics of conversation when we were introducing it to the kids was, the reason why at the college level, why you see the scores so much higher than at the professional level, when we're talking about capping and uncapping run space and route space and everything else. It's the fact that at the pro level, the only difference is that those guys can cover ground as, a little bit better, but they're better at disguising what they're capping and uncapping in space. And that's really what it boils down to.
And that's it, because it's a confusing picture right off the bat. There is no question. And I think that can be done at every level. I really do. It just takes, I think at the high school level, it takes more practice because you don't have as strong of an athlete than you do as college and things like that. But so that is a pretty good deal there. All right. So now if you look on the other side, so if it were 2 removed, let me just go back, sorry. So if you had number 2 and number 1 sitting right here, we would look the same way.
It would just be a mirror image, right?
It would just be a mirror image. Now, let's just put this on the hash for a second. A call that I really like is 29. And what 29 does,
Puts 2 on half and 9 on the other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wide side versus short side.
exactly. So the first number is always the passing strength. And then so you would end up looking like this. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. So if the huddle call is 29, the 2 part of it would handle any 3x1. But if they came out in 2x2, now we have 9. And so we're in a pretty good position to have, this backer more in the box for B gap. Now if it's pass, it's not the worst thing in the world to put them on the outside. So 29 is a coverage I really like. But if you stuck with 22, this is what it would look like. We would sit right there. And remember, the safety is responsible for B or C gap. So in this picture right here, the rover is the B gap fitter. Now he has the same freedom. He can black that guy in anytime he wants. But it really shouldn't be that big of a deal because if this is a good hash call, you don't really want to use 22 in the middle of the field just because of the backer kind of puts him out there. It's not great. But, on the hash, this is actually not hateful. Like I said, field G 29 is a good one. Field G 22 is a good one. Get the 3 technique to the field. But this is an adjustment that I really like. I got this from Bob Trott. So, and it's no offense to tight ends, but, if you're playing, a standard tight end that, isn't going to go vertical that often, we make a stress call. And what this does is it screws the rover down. It still is a robber concept. You still have the flat player. You still have the apex guy. But what we're saying is we're almost treating this guy like a back. All right. So what the rover has to do is the hard thing that he has is he's got to carry the Y vertical. That's what ends up happening. Now he also has to take him out, but that shouldn't be a big deal because that would be his rule anyways. So, depending on the ability of this guy and really the ability of the running back as well, because what this ends up doing is now puts us in a strong box. So we're sitting right here. And so A gap fitter, B gap fitter, force player with our extra player as the robber to the field side. All right. So, this is kind of built into the game plan, the stress call, depending on your league and the guys that you're playing, how much, is there a guy that you have that can hurt you? So if you're panicked about it, tell those guys, don't use the stress call. Don't worry about it. But in this look, we have 2 short hole guys. Really, we get like a late insert guy. That's what we tell these guys to really spy the cue. But it just gives us a heavier box on a rundown when you get 11 personnel. Okay, so it doesn't have to look like this. You could not make the stress call, and now it would look like this. Color these guys up. But just keep in mind, this rover has to be that B gap fitter.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could keep that back on that if you're in, passing downs and stuff like that. You could keep them back.
Yeah, absolutely. The stress call does not have to be there. I would use that on, it's been a while since like the high school tendencies jump out, but like, like at the pro level, I mean, now if it's 3rd and 2, they don't run the ball. It's a passing down. So, but just knowing where those things are and having this in a toolbox, I just like this as an answer. And it's like, I always tell the players this, give the players that freedom. Why'd you call stress right there? I didn't think he was going to go vertical. And it's like, okay, that's a good answer. Or why didn't you call stress? I don't know. I was worried about him going vertical. Perfect. And so if you didn't call stress, he's the flat player, he's the robber, he's the apex guy. And so that's what 2x2 looks like.
I mean, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we'll use the stress call a lot this year. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a tight end in our league that could really Hurt
Not
us
the
not
press,
add
not the
vertical.
press vertical. Yeah, a lot of
No.
them go
Yeah.
flat. They'll flat.
Or they're just another blocker.
Yep.
That's exactly it. Yep. I think we send more tight end seams probably than
Yeah.
Nice.
anybody that we play. So
All right, so this picture right here, this in my mind is the most power in this coverage. And realistically, you know, we talked about how 9 turns into 9 alert with 3x1 automatically. You know, there are times where we will call 9 sync, which tells the guys that run 9 against 2 receivers, but if they get in 3x1 alignment, check it to sync, just because of the sound nature of this. I mean, you look at this picture right here. I mean, it's tough to, you know, like it's tough to run against. There's no question about it. And then the outside nature of this right here, you know, it really is kind of difficult to throw as well. I mean, with the leverage that people have. Obviously, there's weaknesses. This is not the end all be all, but you know, I really like this thing. So I really like the run structure of it. You know, whether you're running field or strong, I think has a lot of value here. You know, obviously, if you're calling strong, you just got to be careful about the 2x2 nature of it. That's why I think field is just a good way to call with this one. But from a coverage standpoint, let's just jump over here. So if you remember from cover 9, you know, cover 9 was essentially 5/3 because the rover was robbing 3 vertical. Now, it was good because he was adding himself to the weak side also. Whereas this one, it's like this is 2/1 right here. We're committing 2 good people. And the backers, I always have, like I say that and it sounds so mean. It's like, what, like I'm not good enough to be over there? You know, like I'm no good. And it's like, actually, you're not. You are no good. But if you remember, the backer was just presence out there. You know, it really was a stress call automatically for him. Whereas this one, you know, the rover really is punching out on this. We want to take this thing away. And there are different things that can get this done. We can play hard corner, what we call cover 5, and do that. And obviously, he becomes the force player, so you just got to be sharp on the run or black this guy in. You know, or you can play like in and out if you got like a cut split. You know, these two playing those. You know, but really the attitude has to be, and when you install this one, you have to say like, look, guys, this guy has got to go. Like he doesn't even exist. We're saying we're giving 2 good people to that guy. And so, you know, that guy cannot catch any balls. He can't even get targeted. You know, we're going to make that a wasted deal. Okay.
So when you guys are looking at that, Colson, when you're looking at that, so
Yeah.
based on the placement of the rover and the boundary corner, that's going to be real similar to what we started working in the last of the year with the cloud in the sky call. So they can mix that with the cloud in the sky and who's getting down to that.
All right.
And obviously, I like sky versus rundowns, you know, just because you have a heavier box presence. But, you know, the cloud stuff I think is killer on, you know, especially like third and medium, you know, where people want to get those hitches into the boundary. It's like, you know, we'll see you. Okay, now this is not an exact stress call because you do have a short hole guy here. But if he runs up the rail, you know, they got to own it. You know, so let's just say we stayed in sky, he would go there and he would run there. Okay, so looking at the inside linebackers here, you'll notice the B and the M, they just bumped over. I've had guys that just by nature, the M stays there and the B flops over. It's not like correct, but it makes sense based on what people are going to do. So I've had people that are the linebackers that are more comfortable that way, rather than having the B do something that the Mike usually does and vice versa. Just flip it over. And we just tell them, like, if you can do it, you know, without looking lame, like do whatever you want. You know, you have to, like, if you do it without panicking, then go ahead and do that.
Now, will you use that too? This is kind of a rhetorical question, but will you use that too to kind of will you use that to try to bait a vertical, because if you're showing a vacated safety, right, and you're putting a boundary corner down in the guy's face, that's triggering for the teams that we play. That's going to be an automatic trigger for these guys to try to go vertical.
Go vertical, yeah, and then see ya. Absolutely, yeah. So when you look here, and really, I'm going to move the free safety over a little bit because he really should be. That doesn't look good. So let's talk rules here for a second. What I also like about this is that the rules for these two guys are exactly the same. He's an apex guy. He's a flat guy, and it's the same deal. It's the eyes. It's a route. It's a China call. That will take him to the flat, and he's got to run with double moves. The free safety is even the same, except instead of reading 2-1, he reads 3-2. The free safety does. So just like when 2 went vertical on the last one, if 3 goes vertical, the free safety's got to run with them. All right, but the outside leverage nature of the free safety, because he's the alley runner right here, the outside leverage nature of this guy is going to be a wall guy. And really he's got a wall to about 15 is really where it ends up being. And the reason why there's a lot of value in switching the B and the M is because, if this is the backer and he is walling this guy, that's all he does in quarters coverage anyways. In cover 9, that's what he does. It's not.
You guys are familiar with wall, right? So that for the terminology that we use when we talk funneling players and funneling route runners to the safeties, it's the same terminology.
Yep. And the technique should be the same as cover 9. So that's why flipping these guys is really not hateful. And really what it's doing is just like in cover 9, you need to protect the fastball from, cutting this guy loose to a safety with outside leverage. Because he's going to be slightly outside depending on the ability of the tight end. But you look at this right there, if this wall guy doesn't do a good job, then, that free safety is going to be in trouble. Okay, and then you have the true short hole guy right there. All right, just like before, you can align the stud in a number of different ways, really depending on. I like to say the location of the back. If he's weak, I think head up. You can go outside shade if you want to, but if you get 4 strong. I really like the being head up and things like that, or even inside shade if they're a zone read team, to really kind of prevent the arc. But it really doesn't matter what they run because you have numbers all day. It does not matter. Even quarterback ISO, you still have enough numbers to handle this thing. We have 4 weak, so we should be able to handle this. With quarterback ISO, that's the only way they can get the numbers down. So if you got ISO Q, he's making the tackle. You get power read, let's say, which is a big one. I really like this because there's the edge, which is awesome. And then what are you going to do with these guys? Are you going to try to block down for the mic? We're going to try to arc up to the safety. This guy ends up playing there and he just fits right off him. Because when you look at this guy's the extra player. When we talk about gap responsibility, he is a C gap responsibility guy. He is the D gap guy in theory. This guy ends up being the extra player.
So that's why, Colson, when I sent you the feedback on the stuff with the presentation, we were talking about the stud and making it to where, personnel-wise, we can put a true end in there. But most of the time with our personnel, that's going to be kind of a hybrid of a linebacker / tight end type guy for that stud.
Okay. Yeah.
So this one, I think this is awesome. And then when you go to the next picture, this is really where, and obviously there's so many different ways there's ways to handle empty. But a lot of times people will be playing man somewhere. Playing this coverage will allow you not to have to play man coverage. So we play sink over here. We play our quarters over here. When we're cooking with gas. What I always do is I always set the front short away from the passing strength just to protect this guy.
So when it goes empty, you go short G?
That's what we do. It's kind of like an automatic check.
Okay.
Just when you look at it, it's a better picture just because in my opinion, these two guys are usually better than, this one.
Yep.
So it's like, and we're actually pretty sound against him and he's not very good. So we're saying we can cheat the mic a little bit. He can be a B gap guy. It's not a killer, but that's what we like to do is go short G. Okay, so now, this is, I think we talked about pro set last time. Here's, a slot look. And so you can look down here. Right here is really, this is cover 9, but, when you get the ability you would play field G, the whip outside, the free safety right there. You can mix and match cover 9 with 21 personnel. And I'll load up.
Rob, can you go back one slide for a second?
Yeah, empty. Yep.
Yeah. So Colson, the other thing out of this too, with having this guy as kind of the multi-purpose, you can shift this into what we talked earlier. You can shift this into diamond, and it gives you the extra back.
No doubt.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
Getting it out front. That's absolutely right.
Yep.
Where is G? There we go. Okay. So I'm going to pull up some run fits here so this is 9 right here against Twins, 2 back. You can always, against a nub set, I always like this one. But the decision you have to make, just because we've always had pretty good corners that can tackle, whoever is the worst tackler, put him down on the line of scrimmage. Seems kind of ass backwards, but it's easier to set an edge than it is to make a tackle in space. So if we're just saying, hey, boundary corner, get yourself down there and go be the force guy. It's like you're going to get blocked. You're not going to make any plays, whatever. But, really what we want to be able to do, like if they ran power, for example.
As long as you're occupying a guy.
That's right. So he kicks here. He wrong arms here. That's the guy that is unblocked. And he always will be. And you think like buck sweep against wing T teams, those guys are going to be big too. All right, so let me load this up here. Okay, so here's the Detroit stuff. Okay, so here we go. So here's Robert coverage against pro. And this is just weak side ISO. So I'll pull up defensive labels so you guys can see who is whom. Just so you get a wrong arm spill, and there's the rover making the tackle. Going to the passing strength. Wrong arm from the stud. Wrong arm from the mic. Free safety's making the tackle. All day long. And like when you install this stuff, like it's got to be, I don't know, how many pro teams do you play? How many pro set teams do you play?
A bunch.
All right,
Yeah.
so like.
But they're used to seeing this because our offense is a pro out of gun, so it's the same concept. So, and this is pretty close to how we defend power now with the odd front with the safeties, extra guy. So they're pretty comfortable with this type of scheme. So
but we just really like build in that rally cry where it's like, hey man, we got 9 guys in the box here. Like they cannot run the ball. Like this, it's got to be. We got to hang our hat on this. Like they need to manipulate us with the formation or get out of this or throw the ball, because I would talk to the players. This is 4 week right here. You can't run into 4 week. There's no. You don't have enough.
Well,
gaps.
that's what we saw on safety. We tell our safeties, look, guys, you guys are hanging back there. You're playing in coverage. You're doing this. And you guys are always complaining about wanting to get in the mix of the game. So
Yeah.
set you up like this, like you are the unblocked player. You got
The unblocked player.
it.
There is no doubt. Let's see what the next one is. Oh, that's a match right there. So let me get out of there. Okay. All right. So from a front standpoint, you're going to see some odd front stuff, and the coverage is all cover two. But the front may change a little bit. All right. So watch what happened here. So he started off. This is 29. So we got Robert coverage up here. This is 9 down here. But as soon as he motions to 3x1, you can see those guys going like this. See the free safety? It's just sink. That's what the 3x1 adjustment is. See him going like that? So the rover knows I'm coming down in that box. And you can see it's like, even if they tried to hit this thing front side, this is just one back power. Even if they tried to hit it front side, it's not going anywhere. This isn't the greatest tackling in the world, but this is just a bad play.
Hey, Robert, can you pixelate or unpixelate or whatever the hell?
Sorry.
Whatever the hell that stuff is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that technology shit.
There we go. All right, now let me go back. All right, so you see the free safety. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So he goes in motion, sink. And this is the outside linebacker, so he's getting a little bit higher than I would prefer, but he's a high sack guy, so like, what can he do? So I don't have the end zone of that one. Okay. All right. So you watch 15. I can share some cut ups of this, but like this kid is just so good at the bluff. Like he was just so good at like showing one thing and then popping into the other. Like look where he went. Now the free safety, he's falling all over himself. But like that looks like cover 9, and that was what the huddle call was. This was I don't know if we're in the odd front or not, but it's diamond. 22 bluff 9. So he's just showing 9. The safety's working pretty well with them. Actually, it's 29 just looking up top. But then look what happens. And that's pretty effortless. That he gets into that outside leverage, and now it's like, he's in business. These
So,
guys
Rob,
are playing 9 up there. Yeah.
You can tell that it's 29 because on the field side, the whip is inside leverage. Is that how you tell that?
This guy right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is pretty much dead nuts. I think this is the P and 10. So this is in the middle of the field. So the passing strength is actually down here. It's a Liz.
Okay.
And we just used the tailback when it was 2x2. But yes, so this is the backer, but yes, it's the same thing. Because he's inside leverage and post-snap he stays there,
Okay.
we know this is 9 up here.
Okay.
And then, I think this is a pretty good look. I mean, look at how this corner, the safety didn't do a great job, but he ends up doing a pretty good job. And then look at what the corner does. He's just going to climb all over this thing. Okay, so this one, this is a good play to see here because a good bluff. Look at how those guys are working together. So this right here is a stress call. And I'm going to jump to the tight version here. So that's 25 down here, the rover. So you can see in width play action on this one, that's a good play. Because those linebackers got to go. Realistically, he should be better than this because he sees the slide pull. and the tailback's on this side, so he should know it's play action. Poorly coached. But you can see, like, he's wrong, but you can see why he's doing it, obviously. But, like, this is what the stress call is. It's like, yeah, it's called stress for a reason. You know, but this is one of those things, we'll give up a 13-yard gain all day long. You know, but that little tight end dump, because that just brought another guy in the box. And then it screwed us because now he's sitting there playing the run, and they got us. All right, so this one's hot. Like when you look at this, and same thing, you know, look at 15 and 36, and then the free safety. And then watch what happens on this.
Faded right to it.
Pick City.
And you guys are going to be mad because
He drops it.
oh no.
That's why he's a DB.
No. He's like hamburger helper. He wore these like big white gloves, and it's like, come on. That kid was a sophomore right here, but you know, this is fit out about as well as it possibly could be fit. You know, the dagger concept is, you know, it's a bitch. I mean, you know, because, you know, the free safety's got to run with this thing, and the whip plays this really well. You know, he plays that dagger out really well. The rover, or the Mike there, you know, does a really good job of, you know, even though he's a short hole guy, he just gets some good depth, quarterback intention. You know, then we have 9 up top here. Not great by the corner, but okay right there. You can see, I mean, you see how he's closing it off. He's giving him his winky right there. It's like, I'm going to reroute the hell out of you. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. So this is a shitty tackle. I mean, he's like we talked about, he's a really good player. But so this right here is 22. And you can see the down and distance here is 2nd and 10. So this is really fit out really well on both sides. You know, you can see how, you know, he might be a little bit more inside than we really would like. And the corner doesn't need to be, you know, playing so far back. He can just, because, you know, 2 is eliminated. So now he can just play over top of 1. He doesn't need to do this. And so you can see if the whip is just kind of here and rather than hanging on the hash, he's in a little bit better position. But this shows like there's a no cover zone. It's like, you know, screw that. They can throw that all day long because they don't want to. You know, not in zone coverage at least. And look up top because you get a good double move here. You can see number 2. He's got to run with him. And then look at the rover. So this kid played for me in high school and then came to this college. So he's been playing this defense for like, he's a senior now, so he's been playing it for 8 years. And he is like, when you look at this kid, it looks like he should be in the band rather than on the football field. But he ends up being an all-conference player because of stuff like this. I mean, you can see there's just no wasted movement. You know, and how he plays with his body. You know, so 2 goes behind, he goes to rob 1, you know, that dig rail, and this thing is killed. You know, short hole guy right here. You know, so he's not great because 34 should be eliminating 86. Okay, so here's 3x1. Yeah, I just really like this one because this demonstrates, you know, look at the shrinking of the field. Look what happens. You know, 15 is the force player, and it's like, screw you. This field starts at the numbers, you know, and how you're able to get those guys, you know, rally into the football. And you got that maniac 52 coming in. The guy wants to go down. Okay, here's Sink again. So that right there, that's the free safety. No, that was the mic right there. Should be the free safety. That's a tough play. Okay, so here's the Y right here. This is a really good look. So there's a mistake here by the guys at the bottom of the screen. The passing strength do a really good job. So this is the stick and nod deal. Those squirrel routes. So this is played pretty well by the free safety. Drops it, standard. Come on, guys.
Damn.
This is the last drive of the game, too. Let's end this thing. We end up getting a pick. But so 52, this is just kind of an athletic move. He really should be taking the squirrel. But I think he just, feels it like, oh, shit sort of deal. And that's why he fits himself over. And so what I really like is the whip here driving on him. Because it's not hateful why, he thinks that he's gone there. So do you guys see the problem at the top of the screen?
Yeah, 3-1.
Yeah, and the back exited, so it's like it's a little bit better, but not really. And bless his heart, 27. But, he's the short hole guy. And so as soon as he does that, 5 does that, he should be sitting right here with the umpire. And then this is not as, I don't even know if that ball is thrown, to be honest with you. And certainly the squirrel route is, the squirrel route doesn't look like it's as open. It's the mic or the back or however you want to say it. But so, I'm not crazy by how either any of these 3 guys played this. Because when you look at it, the rover, this guy's sitting at the sticks and the rover's over top of it, and so is the corner. And we gave these guys freedom because these guys are all seniors. So, we gave them freedom. You can play the hard corner, you can sky it, cloud it, I don't really care, but just don't do that, what they're doing. This ends up being played pretty well by the passing strength. Okay, so remember I told you 3rd and 9. This is a good 3rd and 9 call. So you notice in the coverage it says punch up there. So look at what the whip does right here. He just goes and he's going and running to number 1 right now. And this is the other overhang right there. So what we're essentially getting is just it's 3rd and 9. They're going to throw verticals. They're going to throw comebacks, stick stuff. Everybody runs digs. So it's we just say, screw it. These 2 safeties are going to close off the middle of the field from a vertical standpoint. We have a short hole player. And, you can see the quarterback sitting there jerking the ball off. There's nowhere to go. So the punch tag is really good on 3rd and long, 3rd max, if you don't want to bring pressure.
And that punch tag indicates that the outside backer, the whip, is dropping underneath the 1.
Yeah, so instead of, remember how we talked about in the all-down sense, you kind of want to hang on to and read quarterback's intentions.
Yep.
The punch one says, screw the quarterback's intentions, go find 1.
Okay.
Essentially get underneath 1 and then get into the flat right now. So, just get there right now.
All right.
Because we kind of know pass is coming. Here's another one. So this I think is pretty well done down here at the bottom. Look at him right here.
Yeah, he just kind of opens his hips and
he just goes and looks right underneath here. Now realistically he doesn't need to go jump that thing, but this one's not too bad. You get the same concept right there, and look at what he does.
Yeah, because you got 3rd and 15?
3rd and 15. I think 3rd and 19. It's
Yeah.
screw it.
Throw the little arrow out route.
That is exactly right. You know, and you can see like it's a good decision not throwing the ball because there is nowhere to go. You know, and this safety, you know, we always talk about like fixing each other and things like that. Watch what this safety does. You know, because you know the corner. This is at Gettysburg. The corner's going to the battlefield, which isn't hateful because the quarterback is rolling that way. This isn't terrible, you know, but he sees, all right, this guy committed to him, which he probably shouldn't have, but okay. And he just goes and trails him and it becomes the scramble drill, you know, go find work. Here's 2-punch again. Same deal, 3rd and 10. You know, look what happens. So that's the free safety underneath, and that's the corner. You know, now there's no question. Like, you know, that route running a post right there. You know, that's some stress. There's no question. But, you know, it ends up being a pretty good deal. Here we go. Here's the 3x1 2-punch, but same concept. You know, now if you look at the rover, he's not great because you see where his eyes are. You know, he's looking at the quarterback with this punch call. I think this is right before the half. But, like, he should be finding this guy and then owning him and then let this guy zone off him. So there's let me go to some coverage stuff, but I think we got some good stuff there. But let me get to cover 2. There's 3x1. Okay, so here's robber coverage. You know, so that seam like we just saw in that last clip, you know, just like in cover 9, like that seam is a little vulnerable. Like they run one of those topper deals. I mean, it can be stress. Now you can match it, obviously, like you're not hurt about it, but like, you know, that ball right there is pretty tough. And then the flat, I don't think is a vulnerability in this coverage, but I do think, you know, that hook area, now it really isn't because these guys are driving, you know, like these guys are here. But just from a visual standpoint, you know, that could be something that's there. So just kind of fitting out some routes here. Here's China again on this side. And you can see from a leverage standpoint, like the backer into the boundary doesn't need to play, you know, outside of him just because of the nature of the boundary. You know, you can still get outside of that guy and align inside. But this is China calls from both sides. One hitches up. Is that coming through all right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so look what happens. So this is why I like don't punch out to the flat. You know, when you read quarterback intentions, like you could sit right there. You know, here's the dagger. You know, we saw how this one fit out before. You know, this is fitting out exactly the way that it should. Up here. Okay, so this is Cadillac. You see what happens with the short hole guy? So he's going to collect the crosser. This is what I think is boss about this coverage. So if 2 disappears inside, the robber robs across the field. So watch what this guy does here. He's the rover. Let's give you some facts. So 2 drives in, and then you can imagine how many picks are made off of this. You know what I mean? Because, like, you know, quarterbacks are sitting there saying, all right, like, the short hole guy was collected. You know, we're in business. Free safety's over top of it, and then there that guy comes from out of your vision. That can be killer.
We'll see a lot of that too, where they'll run that under route from the backside, and then they'll run like it's weird. A lot of the teams in our area, and I think it's just kind of the way that everybody coaches it, is when they run the post from the front side like that, they'll run post instead of using a goalpost landmark. They'll go post center of the formation.
Yeah.
And so that'll really be outside of the quarterback's vision with that rover coming back across.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got beat with that a couple of times last year just because of alignment and position, what we delegated to their jobs were. So I think that's something that take note of, Colson, kind of clean that.
So this is drawn up against 3 speed. I really like this against 11 personnel, but it still applies to 10 personnel also. You may want to consider, that flip that I was saying with these 2 guys. They really should consider something like that just because of the nature of this right here. You got a China call up there with 1. 3's vertical, free safety's got to run with them. There's the rover. Short hole guys relating to the tailback. We don't have to chase the tailback because you can zone them off to both sides. You just want to relate to that side because your job needs to be a short hole killer and then play football from after that. Okay, 3 goes vertical. There you go. There's the drive right here. You got hard corner right here. And, we talked about it with 9 alert. This is where bluff is really important because, like you get that rover hanging out on the hash. They think they have one-on-one right here. And then all of a sudden, like that happens. There's a lot of plays that can be made. So this guy is so important, not even necessarily with if a bluff is called, but just being able to say, line up like you're running, alert, especially with the hard corner there, screw yourself down. Okay, so just a dancer concept. So this one is tough right here, but this is where the whip's got to do a good job with no work. But the corner has to play both these guys. 3's out of it. The free safety's out of it. He's cooked. Depending on what is happening with these guys, realistically, if the corner's running and it was 4 strong, the rover can zone off it, depending on intentions. And then the whip just continuing to get depth, to give a confusing picture. So those are the fit off, the fits to those sides for robber coverage. So what are we thinking? You got, what do you think? Any questions there? Formations that we need to fit out, or what because we can save match till next time. We can, watch some more film. We can draw some stuff up. What do you guys think?
What do you think,
I
Chris?
personally wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more film-wise about the way that it looks like.
And then just keep talking through it. Yeah. Go find this.
And Jason, one thing I think we can do is kind of look at the last couple tapes of Wayne that we have and kind of find I've looked at a couple formations and then kind of talked to Rob about fitting cover 2 or Rob or whatever against those formations and stuff like that.
So Rob's got access now. We've got a film exchange set up with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually sent him over Batavia's sectional game and then also the Wayne HFL game from
Okay.
last year. So
right.
you'll be able to see on both.
Okay.
on both sides. Actually, I don't know if that'd be something worthwhile to even bring up. And when you're talking some of the coverage stuff, if you've got the huddle, did you get the huddle up, Rob?
Yeah. You want to load that?
I'm wondering if that might be that way we can just talk on alignments, maybe the HFL,
Yeah.
HFL lane, because it'll give you a good variation from both sides.
Yeah.
Okay. Exchanges. There we go. Okay, let's put this in other items. Miscellaneous, nobody. Okay. Yeah, this is good. Miscellaneous and okay. Just don't know what. Yeah, so I got in here. So I got this film restored. Nothing was tagged. It was kind of disappointing.
Oh my gosh.
It was sad. All right, which game you think?
The HFL Wayne.
This last one right here?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see it.
HS. Analysis. Okay. All right. So, okay, which team are we watching?
We either one. So we play both of them. We play back to back. So we open with Wayne, and then we play next week, and they're both two main rivalry teams.
All right. So
you can look at it because they both actually run very
similar systems.
Similar deal. Okay. And is this 10 personnel? Are they sitting in that most often?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay. So what I would do is, my first call to this would be Field G29.
You've got your video.
Is it not shared?
No.
Oh, that makes sense why you couldn't see what I was saying. Shared.
And you said 29, 2 always goes to the pass side, pass strength?
Yeah, so the first number is the passing strength.
Okay.
And then the second number is the boundary. And then, like you said, if it was 3x1, the passing strength coverage would be the trump coverage.
Okay.
So if they came out in 3x1, that would turn into sync.
So the black jersey team is HFL and white is Wayne. Just so
okay. So where would we got end zone on this? No.
Nope.
Okay. So where would be sitting now? This is a pretty wide divider here with this cat on the hash. So I wouldn't put the whip outside of him. But certainly what this would do, even if you play like just an inside shade of him, because you can still be the force guy. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to, with this guy that wide, and come up with whatever your divider rule is going to be for this. But certainly with the ball in the hash, that guy in the other hash, I mean, literally being that far away from that doesn't make any sense. And
they just try to do it for their single back run game. They try to bait,
no doubt,
push somebody out.
And so you're actually going to honor that, but it's like the free, so the whip, and it's kind of tough without the end zone view. Let me see if I can load up a Go Army deal. I think. My son's got my dad gave him an old BlackBerry that he carries around. I must be on the phone too much because he's like, I can't talk right now. I gotta talk to Richmond. And like, and he has all these conversations. So let me just pull up the whiteboard so we can fit this thing out real quick. So, and I'll just use it, leave it in 11 personnel for now. So they're sitting right here. That guy was just outside the hash. Let me so this will be the whip. So I would play this You know, like we said, 29 is going to be a good way to go. You know, field is where we want to be.
Yep, because I run single back power.
Yep. And so what ends up happening is like
Back counter.
you can play this thing, you know, you can align like this. You know, that these guys are down. This guy's here. You know, so this is your extra player right here. You know, middle this guy up. Can't remember where the back is, but you know, like they're certainly not going to throw this RPO, and you've given yourself the ability that you can play the two verticals. You know, you can still play those vertical routes if they run those vertical routes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hi, buddy. Thanks, Joey. You know, so like, does this alignment make sense?
Yep.
You know, and then I think they were running one back power this way, right?
Yep.
That's what they were doing.
Yep.
They're probably doing that.
Yep. And then they'll do that, and then they'll try to run front side with a read with the quarterback.
Yeah, they'll just read option.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, we can flog this stuff. But I mean, you look at it like well, I guess you're basing here. Putting the three techniques is going to be tough, but you know, it really doesn't matter. He's wrong arming him. He's making the tackle. You know, and that's even if you don't get a win somewhere else. You know, that's just fitting this thing out. You know, that's so I really like that, you know, to something like this. Really what I like about it is it stops him from throwing this nonsense. You know, because
that's exactly it's an automatic check to them. Right.
Yeah, you can see him hit the inside hip. That's
and I don't blame him. I mean, if I mean, look at this, it's not
7
even
yards.
2 on 1, it's 2 on none. You know, like this, I think this is a smart play. But you can see if you put your whip out there, this wouldn't even be a conversation. They would have to run the play that they, you know, that they called. All right, so now you get into, you know, this is a little bit friendlier split. You know, this is where I would get that guy outside of him. You know, whereas, you know, I would definitely run cover 9 over here with these guys stacked 2 outside the numbers. Okay, I'll be on your team tomorrow. Sounds good, Joey. The tackle pull, and they're reading this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we basically, with playing an odd man front, we had the extra backer with 3 down linemen. And then what we did was we took our outside backer as a read, and when he saw that down block, he would just go and he would take the read away and go right to the quarterback and make him give, and then we box it up on the backside.
Because it was this, right? And did they block down here?
Yeah, they block down and kick on the outside.
Chris.
So, I mean, I just think, you know, so you would spill this, and then you're cooked there. Okay. Hey, Joey, I got to get back to work, buddy, okay? So, you know, you can certainly pop this thing, but because of what you have over here, you know, this guy was inside the hash now, so we'll keep him there. You know, I would take this all day long. And it really is like, who's the quarterback?
Right.
You know, like, is the quarterback a guy that we have to worry about?
I mean, they had a guy last year, so
okay. Because I would bend and chase with this as much as we can, you know, against the tailback. But, you know, because you have the numbers here. You know, but if you squat this thing, it's the same thing. Now, I guess we got the 3 techniques set there. Because, like, the reason why I'm bending and chasing is because of the tackle wrap. You know, if it was just traditional zone, he's going to squat it. But the tackle wrap is giving an extra body over there. So that's why I would bend and chase, like we would get in that hip pocket. But you can see either, like, you don't need to squat this guy because you do have the fit. Mm-hmm. You know, and then it and it goes into like the option is handled the way that pretty much from your gap responsibility. So he's a BC gap guy. There's C gap. Now it legitimately is C gap. Okay, same thing, 3rd and 2. Okay, buddy. It is football. Ooh, nice.
So that's
But
why I
see,
said,
like, this is a nonsense play to me. This thing should be dead in the water. It's a good crack, I guess. I mean, like, this isn't bad, but they're playing single high. I don't know. This is where I think too high against this is killer.
yeah, right.
But 24 did that to himself. But if you have a team like this, just looking like this, I would not play single high against these guys. I don't think that that puts it out there. Okay, so here's looking at sync. So realistically, we're not going to line up too much differently to this. This, like, we're going to commit to him, though, but we have an overhang where it looks like he's a little bit tucked into the box.
Yeah, because that's a backer.
Yeah.
Whereas you're saying that would be more of our rover.
That would be the rover, yeah. But you still have, like, it doesn't matter the from a number standpoint, and it does kind of look the same way. Yeah, so this is the same play. It's just they should have kept running this out of 2x2. Because 3x1, in my opinion, this is a bad play. Just because, like, you can't block this guy. He's going to fit right in there. And then this guy's going to be the unblocked hat. Assuming that they block down, right? So they're just running this like power. Still doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the same. Okay, sounds good, Jody. Still the same thing. So he's going to go there, still going to wrong arm that guy, and he's still going to make the tackle.
Yeah, I think if I remember when they were going 3x, they were going guard tackle.
Yeah.
They pull both of them?
Yeah. Didn't they?
It's hard to see. No, just tackle.
Just
tackle.
Wrap right here. Looks like 55 is a little lost, though. All right, here we go. 2nd along. All right, so now you get this kind of cut split right here. This is like, I would, even if you called 9, I would check out of it and check into 2.
2. Yeah.
Just because, like, don't try to force something. He's bringing himself in for a reason. And it's to do that. So, like,
yeah.
like, because you look at this where if this whip's sitting right here on the outside, and it's like, screw it, dude. Like, you're either trying to bring me in there to crack me, or you're trying to get across the formation, and you get across the formation, you're not my problem anyways. And so look what would happen. I mean, that whip's sitting right there. That should be pick city. And we would rob across the field. Okay, Joey. Tackle wrap again. Nice little buck sweep concept.
Mm-hmm.
This is hot. Okay, so it's still the same deal. You got enough got enough numbers. We're just running into the boundary just because they're just Xing this, right? Right there.
Yeah.
So it's still the same concept. You're in a wrong arm right there. He's coming up on the edge. You know, he's going to wrong arm the first thing that comes, which in this case is going to be the puller. You know, and this is if you had 9 out there, which, like I said, just like the same thing where if you got a cut split, check it into 2. You got like that real wide split, check it into 9. But you know, like if you're ever sitting in 9 into the boundary and you're worried about getting cracked and stuff like that, just get on the line of scrimmage.
And that's where we'll have our, I mean, we run base 3-4, so that's where the outside linebacker will sit probably 60% of the time. And
yeah, and then they just can't. Okay. Now you got your 2 phones. He's got a calculator and his BlackBerry. He's working.
oh boy.
Going to work.
So, but you can see, like, because we always have the numbers, like, as long as everybody fits, this really shouldn't be, you know, shouldn't be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because the issue that they're having is that they're playing this as single high.
Single high, right.
You know, so they're a guy short. Because you can see it, we'll play the same way. Like, this guy's going to wrong arm this guy, so he's dead. You know, if you're playing 9, it's going to be the whip that's going to be the unblocked hat. If you're playing 2, it's going to be the free safety is the unblocked hat. You know, so that's the thing that's hurting these guys is just the single high nature of this. Now, 3rd and 10, I mean, shit, that's not too bad. All right, 4th and 6. Oh, we're double barrel. They're coming.
Sluggo. Here it
Sluggo,
comes.
yep.
Saw the sign. There it goes.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Nope.
Nice. That's a shame. The corner did a pretty good job until the end.
You got
Yeah.
nervous.
Shit, he's all over that. Okay, it's a 21. But what are you guys doing against 20 personnel?
So last year, because it was a kind of a new install for everybody, we ran everything out of the base 3-4, and then we utilized the linebackers to change the front. So if we wanted to bring 4-man front, the outside backer would basically bump as the extra defensive end, or based on alignment and personnel, he would stay out in coverage, or we'd bring pressure from over there and try to disguise pressure coming off of it. So
Okay. So let me just reset these guys. Put this into the other boundary here. Get these guys back here. So
let me see where you're doing that. I'm going to see.
he's going down there. All right. So I really like what we call rat coverage to this, but it's the man free concept of this. But we'll fit out robber coverage. And it wouldn't be hateful. You know, it still is all the same kind of stuff. You still get the same box, but, you know, depending on tendencies, you know, you may want to get into 9 against a 2-back set and 2 removed. You know, that's not the worst thing in the world, and play 9 and 2. But, you know, like if you blocked this the way that, or if they blocked this the way that they did, I guess they zoned this, didn't they? They read this. Kept the double team, I think. Looked like the quarterback read it. But either way, we're going to bend and chase this. We got an overhang to both sides. So, like, he's going to honor the quarterback. This thing is going to have to be given. We'll just pitch it to him. And so what ends up happening here is that this guy's going to wrong arm right there. You know, you hopefully if they block it like this, he's going to bend and chase off of it. But he's going to fit. And he's got the quarterback. You know, but I really like 9 against 2 backs and 2 removed. You know, because then you can have complete freedom of where you put the front. You know, you can spike these guys in. You know, if they're trying to run, you know, these zone schemes. You know, I don't know exactly what they're trying to do up front here, but that's what I would do against this one. Because how often do they get in that look?
Near the goal line.
Near the goal line.
It's a red zone deal for them?
Okay. Yeah. And they just
they'll do that, and they'll try to run like a little pick route, and they got a couple things that they do.
And they'll drop both running backs through the hole and have the quarterback follow through.
Nice. Look at 6 putting up the mailbox. That gets people fired. Put your hand up like that. All right, bunch. Nice little 4x1. Shocking. Run Little League toss. Shocker. All the same. Okay. 4th and 4. 4th and 3. Whoa. Again, their odd front, is that? Oh, no, there's 2 in there in the A gaps. That's not great. That is not great. We need this guy.
Yeah. Or you need your other safety that's the unblocked guy, but they shipped it over to play 3x3.
It looks like they're just playing man. Yeah, this isn't good. But you can see, I mean, this is like, if you are in sync, because it's really not going to look, you know, in sync, you're actually going to have an extra guy, but even if you just played 0 down here, you know, you can still wrong arm all this stuff. Okay.
So I put up on the exchange, that same team, HFL, I just threw up on the exchange our game versus HFL, so you could kind of see how we fit it a little bit differently.
Okay. Is this white team, is this Y
That's
off? They play with this guy right here?
Play Y off. Yep, they play with him in the way.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Jason, do you think they'll keep? I mean, that kid's a stud. That fullback linebacker, probably two or 3 years. Stud.
Yeah, that's
do you think
Dave's,
they will?
Yep, that's Dave's scheme.
Okay.
They run that all the way down through JV and modified.
Okay.
Okay.
Cole's used to seeing that wing hanging out there, aren't you, Cole?
More times than once.
All right, well, let's take a look at the, let's see what we're doing here. Nice, look at that. That's pretty good. All right, so this is last year?
That's Batavia. You got to go. The other exchange was the HFL. That one you'll want to watch if you get a chance. Watch that one separate. That's different from the HFL and Wayne stuff. But that was the.
Was there? Oh, you just sent this right now.
Yep.
Oh, got it. Okay. Other items, miscellaneous. That's me. Do it. Okay. Not at this time. Okay, so that's you guys on offense, right?
Yep.
Okay. Nice. 11's a big boy, huh? Okay. All right. So who is everybody here? Who's the?
So
what do you call the weak side?
You got blow it up full screen for a second, and I'll give you the. and then rewind it back.
Like, what are the positions? Like, who's
Yeah,
what?
so this is our end.
Okay.
Nose. This is our other end. So there's our odd front, and then we've got our two outside backers, and then we got our Mike. This is our rover, what we call our sniper.
I can't see your mouse. Give me numbers.
Oh shit, I can't see. So he's
fat guy in the middle. 11 is the Mike.
Oh, nice. The Q. All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then right next to him.
That's 55, I think it might be.
Yep.
53, something like that.
That's our other inside backer.
Okay.
And then 2 to the left. That's the outside backer. He's
Okay.
the one that will play with.
He'll be our whip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then, so like this guy's going to be a defensive end in G defense. Like if you guys were going to do the even front, he is the even guy.
Yeah, it would be from that position. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
And then we got our two safeties back with our 2 corners.
All right. So what coverage are you playing here?
I think they're in. Looks like they're in probably maybe unicorn cover 1.
Cover 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys short a guy?
No, you can't. Our other safety's off screen because he likes hanging out.
You got
12 yards
these 2 up there? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to bring his ass in the mix.
Yeah.
He
He's a drifter
need to join the club.
in the club.
Okay. Same coverage though?
It looks like it, yeah. So you see how, pause that. So you see how number 2 is walked up now? So
Yep.
that's that backer position that we were talking about that we would slide up to make it a 4-man front.
Got it. Okay. And so, but he still
He's
has
an
coverage
outside
responsibility?
So he would read, he'd read the outside guy. And if he was told that if he sees him come right to the down block, then he's coming up and getting right to the quarterback, which is kind of what he did right there. If not, if it's more of like a kick, because these guys, when they pass block, it's a real hard kick step. So when he sees that, that's where he would bail out to the flats.
So now from a defensive line standpoint, are these guys taught, like, do you want them up the field? Because from an
that
even,
was our
ahead,
biggest
sorry.
problem last year was over penetration and getting
yeah, I
too
remember
deep.
you saying that last time. Yeah. Because, like, really, this is a good one to show because, not that 2's great, but 78, like, hangs those guys out to dry. Like right here, like, the linebacker has no shot. 55 right here, he's got no shot to be able to do anything. Because he's just cutting that thing loose. So, like, I would say, especially on 2nd and 3, depending on what their tendencies are and those things, like, get your damn hands on guys. It keeps you on the line of scrimmage, prevents those vertical holes that show up. So this is cover 1 right here?
Yeah.
So this would have been, this would have been our box coverage on trips.
Oh, yeah.
So
So it would have been 3x1 with an ISO with isolated on 1-on-1 on the bottom.
Okay.
And we would try to give him, safety help, but he's kind of playing the top of the box on the other side.
Yeah. I'm running that sluggo right there to number 6.
Yeah, that we repped freaking 100 times in practice, and we still jumped all over the slant route.
Oh,
Yeah,
14 knows it
sluggo.
too. He knows it.
Well, you're lucky you didn't get the one where he gave up a touchdown.
Yeah.
The game-winning touchdown.
Okay. So this is a good one here. Because really, like, when you look at this in theory is how we should look in the even front.
Yep.
Few guys in a couple different spots, but if this safety, he's going to be back here. Where's number 1? Or is this tight end?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So like right here, I would put, passing strike's going to be in here. I would make this a stress call. So you put the rover down. So you're going to have 2 heavy guys in the box. You'll have a force guy. So this guy's actually over here. But those guys are going to be going with the pulls. But, like, this guy's got to be a maniac and just wrong arm. Like, he's got to take 2. And you really, if you coach this thing saying it's this shoulder, it's the same thing. We should never give linemen like that free release. Like, those guys are going uninhibited. So even if my man 55 did see the pull, he's forked. He's got no shot because these guys up front didn't help him out. But you can see, like, this is a great film because it's like, guys, we are not that far away here, because, like, if this guy spills this, and forces it here to 21, I mean, you're in business. If you constrict him just a little bit, Lorenzen's coming over the top. You guys are close here, really are. What was the down and distance on that? 2nd and 10?
2nd and 10, yep.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, do you guys teach the wrong arm spill? Is that what do you guys teach that?
So it's something that we started trying to put it in. That what we were trying to do with the alignment here is we were trying to get them to be able to set the edge and funnel it, force it to the inside, because that way you had the outside backer that would take the lead, and then it would put our safety over the top as the uncovered hat.
Okay.
But the safety kept drifting too far back that he kept taking.
Yeah. He's still
Right.
unblocked, though, Coach, technically.
Yeah, he's unblocked. So
I'm with you. I think, like, it's not bad, but just looking this and just watching these first couple plays, you got an issue with getting hands on. And so I think if you go to the coaching point of, like, hey, up front, we need to constrict these guys, let those linebackers play a little bit more. And then that just naturally fits together with wrong arming. Because, like, naturally 33 is going to end up not going up there. He's going to end up going right there. And then now the spill is easy. And he just takes that right shoulder and just drops that thing in there. And then
Right.
they're in trouble. Wildcat.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. The same thing, like, this is literally, I mean, different misdirection, but it's the same play. 21, get your ass in there. This is a good football team, though. I like this.
Yep, lost to him by a field goal in the sectional
Is that right?
semifinals.
Nice.
Yeah. Is 2 coming back?
No.
Two is
All-state
not-
kicker. All-state kicker.
Nice. Good for him.
He's a college lacrosse player, though.
Oh, he's standing like a lacrosse player. That's what it is. Like, goodness sans, kid. Oh, he's a good-looking kid. So, like, this isn't bad. So it's going to be close. So we're going to look close. This guy's going to be out here.
Yep.
All right, but you still have enough guys in the box. Same thing. You see how both these guys are going upfield?
Mm-hmm.
Because their eyes aren't on, because this is poorly blocked. I mean, like, you guys are in your odd front, so it's not, like, completely hateful. But realistically, the center should be blocking back on one of these guys, and then blocking down like this. But those guys are just going straight up field and taking themselves out of the mix.
So in your opinion, 78 should be turning and chasing on that one because he's unblocked.
There is no doubt. Like
knowing that 2 has the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 2 you can make an argument for it, like depending on what the scheme is. Now, if you're playing 9 or 2, he's not an overhang, so he can still chase.
Mm-hmm.
He can still do that. Now, if you're in man coverage, you can't. But let's just say you're in zone coverage. I mean, you guys are in man coverage, so 2 has to do what he does. But you said 78? Yeah, 78. He is wrong every which way. Because you should see he should be making this tackle.
Yeah.
He's just looking in the backfield. Which is human nature. But that's why you just got to drill the shit out of this stuff. And with all that, if 33 wrong arms, and good teams, like this team looks well coached, so this tackle is going to go there, but the quarterback is also going to go there. And that just takes more time. And now the quarterback can, get off a block. 21 can get off a block. Good night, Trey. I love you, buddy. We're close.
So you can see we kind of had the pieces, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. How many of these guys come back?
We only lost 5 seniors total.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, we got a young team. So 2 and 11 are gone, and I think that's
78.
No, 78. Oh,
Mayu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like in these power run schemes right here, this is just counter. I mean, like GT counter, like you got to wrong arm this. You can't let these guys come downhill like this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then plus just the wrong arm is just demoralizing. When you just keep on, like, as long as your defensive guys are like comfortable with what's happening, like, and they know why they're doing it, you can just blow those things up.
When they would go to do that, they would overcommit and they would get themselves washed down. Where we really needed them picking up that kick out block and stuffing that kick out.
Yeah,
that kick in tight. So we said, well, we'll do this. Let our linebackers fight off the block, and then.
And I would say give them, kind of give them some tools, where it's like, I've had some guys that can wrong arm by caging. They would cage that thing and then shed it, cabbage patch back inside. And then, there's other ones where it's just like, hey man, you're just not good enough. You got to dip that shoulder and run that hoop, but play around with it. Cause I'm just looking at that film right there. If you guys just do that, that's going to force them to, certainly now they're going to try to attack the perimeter and things like that. But if you tighten it up with playing robber and quarters, I think now you're more solid in the perimeter, and then now you funneled everything out.
Where instead of trying to funnel it in.
Yeah. Because I just don't think funneling it in, you don't have the guys. You don't have enough guys. There's guys you're funneling it to blocked people.
Yeah.
Is really where it kind of is going. And so then it's you're funneling it to free safety, who's at the hot dog stand.
Well,
No judging.
Good old Quinter.
Yeah. It's fun to pick on those people. I always I don't know what your town over. We always did that. It's you don't need to play in Chantilly. Come on, join the team.
Yeah, Wayne's the crosstown rival. We definitely don't want to.
Okay, nice.
Being over at Wayne, so.
All right, well, guys, let's do this. Let's do man-free next time.
Okay.
I'm going to show you what it looks like against 10 personnel. But really, the killer on this one is the Y off. Like this is the stuff that just flogs people. And we talked about it a little bit with when we were doing the Bronco stuff. That got into a little bit of the Y off, but like I'll show you what it looks like out of that too. And that is the, you know, you pull that out against a Y off team, they're going to be scratching their heads for a while, you know, because it just doesn't make any sense. Like they're looking at this like we should be able to gain yards on this, you know, and it's just like you got guys coming from everywhere if you play it right. So the if you look in that playbook, it's match and then rat. Those are the two. Rat being the Y off adjustment to it. So if you look in that playbook, that's what that is. All right, sound good?
Awesome.
Hey, same thing, man.
Sir.
Make sure you hit me up if you need something, and then let's just keep getting after it.
And then you'll dump the recording back up to the.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it. It takes a minute just because it's so long.
Oh yeah.
I try to compress that thing down, but I'll put that in there as well, and then I'll watch those films a little bit more. But this was good. I think this is a good way to do this. You know, be able to watch those films and say like, this is how this fits out. All right.
Awesome.
All right, man. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Awesome. Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.